So here we have a case of an artist who owes a fair amount of people a fair amount of money. I do want to preface, don't send hate to anybody involved, including the artist, because the artist is really young. The artist is again 16, so they're quite young. So I don't want this to be a case of like witch hunting the artist, etc. like that. It's just a bunch of people are owed money, so it would be nice if they could get their money back or their commissions. Anyways, we'll look into this. So all of this is started with this thread that Lovette made, goes with the same Twitter handle. And Lovette writes, saw Johan Nails, I hope I'm reading their name right, stating, also say that they never got anything, but pretty much radio silence, and I thought I'd drop these here as well. Still have not gotten a payment or a refund, despite them saying in their next tweet that they would be issued if requested. So this was on November 22nd. So here are some DMs between Lovette and Al, where Lovette says, would this be something you're comfortable doing in your style? I'll leave the post and everything else up to you. And Al says yes. And Lovette says, I'm so excited. What's your Cash App? And Al gives their Cash App, and Lovette sent them $25. And then Lovette says, awesome sauce, can't wait to see what you scribble up. And this was all on October 7th. Now, 9 days later, Lovette pokes them writing, please don't forget about me, with a little meme. And Al says, sorry for the late response. I was busy. Expect an update soon. And then Lovette says, okay, just making sure. And then 11 days after that, on October 29th, Lovette bumped it again. And then on November 13th, so now we are over a month out with no communication and no update from the artist. Lovette says, hi, if you haven't started the drawings at all, would you mind refunding me at this point? No rush, but I would prefer just to commission somebody else for a multitude of reasons now. And then on November 22nd, they sent okay. And they write, already ended up calling it out on my private and was willing to give it time, but looks like it's a repeated history with this person. And yes, it's a reference to this tweet. So now we have another Twitter user by the name of Yavets. And this is their private account, right? Writing, if you cannot handle the wave of commissioners and prioritize clients that have ordered months before versus over your personal and political beliefs, especially if said clients have already paid, then stop taking comms. And yes, this is Al Ponzi, aka Kitty Puffs 9. People like this piss me off, especially since they lack zero communication skills. Being a paying customer and then ghosting 16 of your commissioners. Sad I'm not the only one too. Yeah, so the artist is also allegedly 16 years old. So again, I want you guys to keep that in mind. They're young and they also have ADHD. And I have ADHD, and so I completely understand that, you know, when you have ADHD, stuff like that, it's easy to lose track of stuff. It's easy to, you know, misplace things, take on more than you can. But at the same time, this is like a bunch of people and there's money involved. And that's when it gets really messy. Here we have another person. So this is the original person cited in Lovette's tweet, Johan Nails, writing, my first and last time trying to support an artist online. Paid and then got radio silence. I hate opening disputes because they're so tiring, but come on now, Al Ponzi. I understand entirely. I never intended to not complete your order. And this is what Al writes. I had a lot of personal and professional issues that disturbed the individual process for this order, but my incompetence is still absolutely unforgivable. I apologize again for poor service. And then Al says, I'll refund you immediately. Joe says, still waiting. Now we have Manny, who goes by Inkling Boy, writing, I've been waiting since May and even offered a refund. No response, no matter what. Please let me get my money back. And that's a quote retweet to Al's tweet, which Al's tweet writes on November 19th. I'm sorry for the unexpected hiatus. I've been seriously struggling with some personal issues. If need or be or requested, I will issue refunds. And then this is Joe replying, I've been waiting a month. Seems like they take money and hope it's so small that people don't ask for it back. They said they were dealing with stuff, but they posted this month about icon comms, so that seems to be a lie. That's a big thing with these types of people, these artists who will take on too much comms and not give you your money back. They will open up commissions when they still owe people art. And I think in some cases it could be okay, like if you really needed the money. But also at the same time, it's a bit irresponsible for you to keep doing that because you're going to end up constantly owing previous clients commissions that you didn't do. Then you take on even more work and then you're now even more overloaded. Josie, I give him benefit of doubt because I feel like I'd lose track of comms if I were to do commissions. If I were in her shoes, I'd be so stressed. Yeah, I'm trying to give benefit of doubt as well, right? Because I do understand, you know, with a lot of commissions, whatever, especially if you're 16, you're in high school, you're probably juggling a lot. It's easy to get distracted. But I will say when you do owe a bunch of people money, it does get a little messy. So then we have another one. This is Gummy Doggy, who goes by Bug, writing, dude, I've been waiting for my headshot since April. Please at least answer my DMs. And Joe says, file a chargeback claim. He's done this to a lot of people. I contacted PayPal and got my money back after waiting for my icon drawing for a month and he started ignoring me. Yeah, this is why it's also sus, right? Because they say they're 16 in their bio, but you can't legally use PayPal unless you're over 18. So I'm not sure how that happens. Maybe they used a parent's PayPal, a friend's, or an older sibling's PayPal that they're receiving money through, but you can't open a PayPal account until you're 18 years old. So I don't know how that's happening. And Bug says it's been over the dispute claim timeframe. Unfortunately, I would have had to start the claim by October. And yeah, so Gummy commissioned them in April. The way PayPal works, you can file a chargeback up to 180 days out from when it happened, but that would be October. And here we have some more conversations. So Bug writes, I've been waiting since April 19th. These are all the same day. Actually ridiculous to have no progress at all, even when I tipped, but posting $5 comms. So here we have Al, and this is what Bug is writing to Al. Hey, saw your comms were open. I was wondering if I could snag a headshot with a background from you. They attached a photo. I was hoping to get something of my main persona, but if his design isn't something you feel comfortable working with, let me know. I can grab something else. Al says, oh yeah, no, I can totally do this. Yes, totally. Any more specifics? Bug says, I really like the way you draw tears, so maybe something with him crying, but all up to you. And Al really excitedly says, yeah, I love drawing tears. And Bug says, where do you take payment at? And Al says, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Coffee, etc. It's whatever you prefer. And Bug asks, what's your coffee? Al says, 1 second, let me log in. Okay, sorry about the wait. And they attach their link. And then Bug sent the money, and Al says, received, thank you. That was all allegedly on the same day, all on April 19th. And Joe responds, that's what we were saying. Imagine posting comms open, but you have some people waiting almost a year now. If I were you, I'd make a post and at them. That was the only way me and others got them to even respond, because they ignore emails, DMs, etc., all while being active on here. Yeah, by the way, if you make a PayPal account under the age of 18, yeah, it's gonna eventually come back to you. And Unvi says, man, I'm now worried since I did a commission in October. So Joe says, you should be. A lot of people don't get their comms, but because it's $5, they just say f it. I think that's his grift. Call a lower price and never deliver with the hopes that it's so low that people will just leave him with the money. Unvi says, man, but the art style is so effing fire. Like the coloring is so awesome. I honestly don't care for $5, but I just hope one day in the future I can receive my commission. So now again, we have another person who didn't receive their comm. And that does sound like a very, very interesting MO that I've seen other artists do, where they would charge really, really low for the commission so that you don't really question the money, or you don't really notice it missing, right? You're not going to really notice $5 being missing. If it was a $500, you would. And then there is this thread in the reply of this post where they did $5 icon request. We have somebody stating, you still do comms, and Onyx said, do not commission them. They're scamming people. So Aristotle says, do you have proof of this? And Onyx says, go to their most recent post and just look at the replies. And Al replies to this, writing, I'm going through a lot right now. I'm doing all I can on the side to make money to refund people, hence me not being so active. I have never intentionally scammed anyone. And Onyx says, okay, but that's not a justifiable reason to not re-respond to the people who have repeatedly DM'd you asking what's going on. I'm sorry you're going through things, but you have scammed many, including my friends. Right, nah, but they paid for Twitter. That is true. They did pay for Twitter Blue. There is that. Al writes, I have never intentionally scammed anyone, as I said. I admit, though, my communication was disturbingly poor. I just started giving up on everything, and I can understand how difficult I was. I will DM and refund your friend with extra money compensation for all the trouble. I'm not ignoring anyone, not on purpose anyways. There's just so much going on, and on top of that, I took way more than I could take. I just didn't know how bad it'd get. I'm very sorry. So there's that, but there's other people on the other sides as well. So we have J-Rod writing, message got cut off, and J-Rod writes, there's a giant difference between scamming and genuinely not having the mental space to even think about anything. You don't know what they're going through, and neither do I, and you're paying $5 for something that should cost at least 5 times the amount. So there are obviously going to be some delays anyways. Onyx says no communication is the issue. That's not okay. Just because it's $5 doesn't make it okay. Like I said before, I'm sorry they're going through things. I am too, but it doesn't make it okay. If they either pay back or do the art, that would fix things. And Garrett says, dude, I understand perhaps you've never been in a position like this, but you're majorly understanding and misrepresenting the situation. They've stated they've gone through some stuff in their personal life, and given the time of year and everything else going on at the moment, it's reasonable to assume they've got a lot on their plate. Cut them some slack. There's a difference between intentionally ignoring people and being unable to communicate. The biggest thing at the end of the day is intent, right? And I really want to be sympathetic. Again, they are very young. They're 16. 16-year-olds do dumb shit all the time. I did dumb shit when I was 16. But I do want to say too, the big thing is intent, right? And like how things are executed upon. I can completely empathize with being in a position where you are so overwhelmed you don't want to do anything. I've been in many places like that in my life, and there's like literally nothing that could happen. Even if you pulled out all of my teeth, I would not be able to like do anything. You know, it's one of those. I've been in places like that where I literally can't do anything. But on the flip side of the coin too, if you are so overwhelmed you can't complete the current commissions that you have, then don't take more. That's what I think at the end of the day is, right? Because they're constantly taking more that brings the issue of we can't really believe that you're really overwhelmed and you can't complete your work because you're constantly taking more commissions. You know what I mean? It's just one of those. Henny, I've been in a similar position taking comms for video editing, and at some point there's a cutoff to not take on more than you can handle. I do understand the age can factor into it, but I was 17 doing these comms. Not trying to sound rude to the artist, but I also have ADHD and was able to manage. Yeah, I mean, like when I was in high school, 15, 16, I did that. I did commissions and stuff like that. I also have ADHD and I was in school and stuff like that. I was able to manage. But again, everybody's different, so I want to be sympathetic to them as well for this. But we also have more. So under their post, there's more people who haven't been paid. So here we have Alponzi posting icon request. And the thing is, their art is extremely good, and $5 is insanely cheap for what they deliver. They have an extremely unique and beautiful art style that is worth minimum like $70 per piece minimum. That's like neither here nor there, right? And here we have Sub-Zero writing, hey, I'm really sorry to leave another reply asking, but please respond back to your DMs. I've been waiting since February, and it seems like other people have been waiting for your response as well. I don't mind not getting art or refund ASAP, but I do really mind getting communication back. Another day, another dollar, people asking for DM responses. We have another post by Alponzi, and Crying Baby writes, hey, are you still willing to finish my commission? Forrest, their name is Alponzi, like Ponzi scheme, that's wild. Yeah, maybe that's not intentional, I don't know, right? Another post, all speed paints are on my Patreon, and Sub-Zero replies, hello, please kindly check your DMs. I've been trying to contact you for months on the commission started on February, sad face. I want to believe the artist is really good intentioned. It's just comms, man. They keep taking them. They have this other post, and here we have San Kilp writing, can I get a refund for the commission I made a month ago? Al says, DM'd you. And here Walp writes, bro doesn't have $5 LMAO. And then Sam says, I never got the commission and the guy stopped replying to DMs, so I had to resort to begging for attention publicly multiple times. I think it's pretty fair for me to ask for my money back. Having all those people basically leaving public complaints on your post, oof, that's messy. That's the thing. I've never really seen an artist with this many people in their public posts with that many people in the comments asking for their money back. And I think in this case, it's because I don't think the people asking for their money back is malicious. I don't think these people want to publicly try to shame the artist. It's just they haven't received a response in DMs for so long that there's nothing else they can do, you know? With all of these people that have commissioned this artist, right? They keep saying, I've been trying to DM you, I've been DMing you, I haven't gotten any responses back from you, so what am I supposed to do? So in order to get a response, they're resorting to commenting on their public profile. That's kind of where it's looking at right now, where there's so many people who have been hanging in the dust with this person, with this artist. And with the original poster, these are their full communications, right? This is Lavette, where on October 6th, they DM'd asking for the comms, where they list the prices, $5 for icon, $10 for waist up, $15 for a full body. And then Lavette asked a commission for 2 separate pieces, something like an icon and a full body for a social media banner. Then they sent over some artwork, which is super pretty. And then here is the proof of them cash apping and paying. And then sorry for the late response. And then this was them asking for a refund. November 7th, you can no longer send direct messages. So did they get blocked? Lavette did say at the end of the day, they did end up getting their refund, which I'm at least really glad for. I'm glad they were able to get their money back. But they had to pester him for months to get their money back. And they have this post, you know, $25 for hopefully this is enough. Thank you again, heart, heart. And you can see it says scam detected on their Cash App, which is pretty interesting. And they were refunded. So yeah, I'm curious about your thoughts on this whole scenario. I want to be really sympathetic due to their age. And I have ADHD too. I get how it is. It's hard to work when you have ADHD, especially if life is just coming at you. It's just hard to work. It's hard to deal with. But again, there's just a whole bunch of people they owe money to. And there's probably a lot more that haven't spoken up as well. These are all the people that have spoken up about this artist. And they've just kind of been ghosting people for so long. So again, I want to be sympathetic, but there's just so many people asking for money. But on the other side, some people are saying it's just $5, it's just $10. So I'm curious as to your thoughts, right? Like, I would still say even if it's only $5 or $10, I mean, if you multiply across the amount of people they do owe money to, it does add up to a fair amount. So I would say that, I mean, my best advice to them is they're clearly an extremely talented and extremely skilled artists. They should just literally quadruple their prices. If they make every art piece commission minimum $50, they would be able to get a lot more money, do a lot less work, and it would be a lot easier for them to manage. Aishi, somebody that's 16 still knows the difference between right and wrong and what they're doing. It's definitely not right. It seems it's malicious intent. And Rai, somebody's $5 can mean way more to somebody than others. Yeah, so I do see both sides on this, and I'm curious as to your thoughts. And just again, don't send hate to the artists. They're very young at the end of the day. We've all done dumb things when we're 16. Some of us involving less money than others, right? That's on the line. But at the end of the day, It is what it is. And I hope the people that are involved can get their refunds back because it sucks being out your money, you know? And no matter what, you might be like $5, $10. Yeah, depending on what country that person is from, it can be a lot of money or just, you know, what financial background you're at. It's really scuffed.